Howdy, all you delicious people. I know a lot of people will probably be saying, man, I've been waiting for a long time for another one of these to come out. Without a doubt, overall, with everything that I've been doing lately, I've been pushing out a lot of new content. With that, realistically, at the end of the day, that pretty much just takes precedent over everything. It's really just like, well, I'd rather just do something new and something fresh and see throwing of the darts at YouTube. If that'll be much more successful than maybe a video that I don't know yet. Still, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know yet if something is still gonna go well or whatever. But let's go. This is pre-recorded off my PlayStation 4. Of course, this being DC Universe Online, you can tell by the thumbnail.
Joker's clowns are turning the old amusement mile theme park into a riot zone. Gotham PD is overwhelmed. I'll track down the Joker. You take care of his clowns. Batman out.
Yeah, Batman, you better track down that Joker. Better track down that joke. Track it down, man. Man of bats. Track it. Trick a whoo. But yeah. Realistically for this game, I've just kind of realistically I really love this game, but then I just kind of like I just fell out of it because really it's just kind of like I love this game. I really like it. I really enjoy it. I'm so happy I'm able to do it, but at the same time, it's just I'm in a bind. So many other things.
Joker clowns are holding cops hostage over at the old roller coaster. I need you to get those men to safety.
Yeah. So many things going on. So many things. So I'm going to try as much as possible to be able to come back to these as soon as possible. I have, if you guys are waiting for the villain story, I have another one of those raring to go. I just have to...
What's this? Has an uninvited guest stumbled into my toxin testing ground? So sorry I can't be there to welcome you in person. Enjoy the party if it doesn't kill you first.
I just have to take the time to do commentary over that. That video is going to be a little bit longer than this. So at the end of the day, I don't know how quickly that's going to go out without a doubt, because of how lengthy it is. So yeah. But I don't know. Hopefully we'll see what all comes out of the gate. It's been great lately. This will probably show the time of what's all been going on, and maybe I shouldn't do that because who knows when some of these videos will come out. But
It's all in good fun. Who doesn't love 10,000 volts?
I don't. But yeah, because this might show my hand on where my channel is and whatever. Realistically, today we had just hit another milestone of 330 subscriptions. So I'm going to try to do something special. I'm going to try to do something, whether it's just saying thank you or putting through some new content or something. I don't know. I'm just going to hope for the best, put my best foot forward. I did kind of find these kind of hilarious. These little balls here with the exploding thingies. Joker bombs. Yeah, I tried to just throw this in any part of the water there. Doesn't really work that way. Doesn't really work that way. Like, you have to actually put it in the exact right place Um, and that was just kind of dumb. I'm like, here's a thing I can throw into the water, but that's not good enough. I'm like, okay, fine. Yeah, this is where I do that here. I just throw it in here. I think, oh yeah, I'm good. And no, not so much. And I'm just like, a what? I'm just like, uh-huh. Like, are you kidding me? And I just throw it in there more, and then I just walk away. Uh what a noob. What a noob. As I'm talking to myself, saying how much of a noob I am. What a freaking noob. But yeah. Because realistically, I don't know, I'm still. I think it is great for the villain side. Like, it's really good that I am able to really do at least a character that I think is at some aspects me. Um, because I was really hoping for this game that I wouldn't have to just put in an overly generic looking character and it didn't look like me at all. And I would just be like, ugh, like man, this just ugh. Like I wouldn't be able to like come up with something that like represented me well, and then I would just have to just like forcibly just be like, meh. But like in this story, I kind of like the aspect of just like okay, this is probably a hero that costume wise I've never really changed since part one. Um, Even if I would probably have found something better to suit this character, it just nothing ever came up to where there was a real like piece of clothing that would fit this character better. So I just kind of stuck to my guns, but cool. Well, uh, but yeah, realistically, I had done this story in my villains playthrough. So realistically, if you guys want to see the villain side of it, you guys can check on my DC Heroes or DC Universe online villain series. You can check that out. Maybe get some a little bit of stuff ahead of time. You can see kind of where the story might go. Because I think that's usually I usually do the villain stuff before I do the hero stuff, so you can maybe see where the story could go. But I don't know. We're just kind of with how infrequent I've uploaded these lately. I used to just like spam these out, and man, I used to just like really crank them out, and then I would just like look at them like, nah. Like I don't know, I like I want to keep going with. I think this game really started me like really going and. I think with this game, it really made me dig deep and try to find new things.
Before I go, I have a little present for you. Well, lots of them, in fact. Some of them hold suffocating GCPD officers. Others, well, that'll be a fun surprise, won't it? Don't say I never gave you anything.
Oh, great, Joker. That's awesome. Mark Hamill. Man, like, it's just kind of amazing how these guys are still at it. Like, a lot of them probably could have retired, and, like, I think a lot of times there's a lot of people that have just stepped in and are the new voice of Batman, the new voice of Superman. etc., etc. But then eventually it'll just be like, well, yeah, but we want the original. We want the original voices. We feel it's gonna be important if we have the original voices, and it's just like, well, yeah, that's great and all, but like, then what is the point of having all these new people step in and be the new Batman or the new Joker, the new Flash, etc., etc.? I don't know. I don't think we're ever gonna legitimately have. I think after, um, like Michael Rosenbaum and Kevin Conroy and everyone else in between, after they kind of finally just say it's like, okay, I'm done. Like, after I think these guys finally do hang up their mics, so to speak. I think after that, I think it's just gonna be like, I don't think there's gonna be anybody like consistently doing the voices after that. I just think like everybody's just gonna, like, whoever wants to do it will do it. It won't be somebody that has consistently done it for a certain amount of time. It's probably just gonna be a free for all. Like I remember in the Justice League New Frontier, there's a lot of new voices on that. Like I remember, David Boreanaz, who played like Angel on the CW thing, and then eventually was on Bones later on. He did a thing for Green Lantern once, for the New Frontier, and there's a lot of new voices on that movie. But then kind of like Nathan Fillion kind of stepped in to be Hal, and then like, oh, okay, well, no one else is going to be Hal but Nathan Fillion, and like they've kind of stuck to that for a lot of the times. I know Hal Jordan on the Justice League show was voiced by one of Nathan Fillion's friends from Firefly, so for one of the episodes for Justice League, when they were going through the whole there was some episode where they were like traveling in time, where they had the Batman Beyond episode. That's when they had Hal Jordan step in for one episode. I was like, all right, and then like he quickly went away, and I was like, all right. It's like, not that there was anything wrong with Jon Stewart. I love Jon Stewart. It's just, it was always just kind of, it was always kind of hilarious because whenever like Justice League, the show just kind of teased at maybe getting a different Green Lantern on the show. It was always teased, but then like they're always just like, no, Jon Stewart, you're the Jon Stewart for this Earth. No one else is gonna be replacing you. It's just like, it's like, couldn't we have gone with like one episode with Kyle Rayner or one episode with Hal Jordan, and then like, cause Cyborg eventually like joins the team and whatever, but also it's just a thing of like, man, you guys could have had like I think Jon Stewart was like an alien, so it didn't like.
Joker's sloppy. You'll have left the toxin formula with Harley. Robin's already there. You may need backup. I'm counting on you. Batman out.
Like, I think kind of his, like, him being on the show kind of covers a lot of everything, because it's just kind of like, well, if.
It's the big one. Goodbye.
Oh, well. Just the robots in this game. Yeah. This looks a little familiar.
I saw that dingbat Harley Quinn wrapping up cops like presents for the Joker. Go set him loose if you can.
Yes,
Joker's
yes.
clowns have got cops locked up in cages. Cute, huh? Help us bust them out.
I get it. It's always just like. There's always going to be 2 side missions set up for when you go into these rooms, which is fine.
Thanks. You're all right, buddy.
Don't you have a cat and a treat to say? Beat it.
Honestly, for the.
Of course, you know this means war.
Honestly, for the villain missions, though, I think I've kind of got a little issue, though. I think I've gotten to a point where I honestly just can't go any further. Because realistically, like, there's this one mission that I'm doing right now that is super, super hard. Because realistically, you honestly just can't get it done with one person. It's just, like, impossible. So I don't know, I'm gonna have to try and hopefully figure something out. Because without a doubt, if I can't finish the mission, then I can't, like. And it's just like, well, hopefully I can get as far as I can with this story, and to the point where I need a team of people for certain missions, but man, I'm kind of running.
Boy, show us to go clubbing. What a 30-pound mallet.
Yeah, because if I get that uploaded and out, and as soon as I possibly can, man, you guys are going to see me just, like, there's this one mission.
Did your mommy make it for you?
In. Shut up. There's this just one mission where I am really trying to just get through this thing, and man, it is just like I have to reel back and come back, and freaking it gets to the point where my everything that I have just completely, all my equipment just breaks. And so I have to completely get out of the mission, go back into this mission, and fix everything, and then come back and try to get through this mission again. And I am just like, man, I like, because I had absolutely no, like, every single thing, evidently I realized that if every single one of my things breaks, I can't have powers either. Like, there's nothing that works. So if my gloves break, if my gloves break, there goes my powers. Then I have to fight with, like, fisticuffs. I had to basically brawl everybody, and, like, realistically, when they have a massive group of people all clung together, man, does that suck. Because, yeah, like, for one of the missions that I was doing for the villain storyline, man, just, like, the people I had to fight were just, they just kept coming. And I was like, dude, there's no way I can fight all these numbers off when they keep coming. There's just no, there's no stopping. There's no, because like a lot of people would say it's like, well, yeah, just set up to have like all your minions ready to go. It's like, well, still, it's just like, even with that, it's still, even with minions raring to go, it's just like the onslaught is just real. The onslaught was just so just ridiculous at that point, where it's just like, man, just like, could we get a timeout? Like, could we get a timeout, game? Like, man, I need to stall for like health to get health. Like, if I had more of a like regenerative thing going for me, then no problem, but I'm sorry, but would you call a woman buddy? Just sounds kind of weird. But I guess their programmed response is really just like vague to just be like,
The boys in blue always know how to rain on our parade. But it's Princess House.
but yeah, but I think a lot of the past episodes were just me like talking about how to change the game, how to make it different. Like, I think now I kind of said like everything that I've wanted to say to really change things, change how they do things. So I think a lot of the times whenever I come back to this, a lot of the times it's just like I'm just kind of just enjoying the game instead of like pointing out things. And people might have liked that about this series more, than I'm just kind of pointing out things that they need to change, or pointing out things that bugged me or whatever. Maybe the developers are even watching. I doubt it. I doubt it. I don't know. If anything, they should probably watch. If anything, they should be probably watching those big fat juicy channels that I'm sure every time someone talks about the game, they're yeah, I guess we should implement that. It would be kind of interesting if this game, though, eventually made it to where, like, it would be kind of funny if somebody, like, was doing this game on YouTube and legitimately their hero or their villain or whatever actually made it to Cruel World, made it to actually be used in the books. That would be kind of crazy. Just be like, yeah, this person made this character in this game, and somebody just so happened to see it. Somebody in Warner Brothers just so happened to see it, and like, hey, this guy has something, and just like made a comic book out of it. Be weird. I just don't think legitimately a lot of people have like well thought out like heroes and backstory and everything like that. I think a lot of people is just like they probably created like a generic character or something so weird or wild or whatever that like their focus wasn't on like, oh, I actually want to have something be put on here as a character that you could actually put in the books. But I don't know. Who knows? You never know. You never know. Not saying I want this character to be plastered and have her own story or whatever. At the end of the day, like freaking, I've done so many stories and so many this and that. It's like, take your pick, Warner Brothers. Take your pick. Like today, I just did again, kind of calling out my hand of what I've done. I did a video today where I made up, like, for you. Stupid little robot sayings. But yeah, it would be interesting to, like, hey, I've done so many of these ideas, like, Warner Brothers, if you want to take any of these ideas for any of these stories that I've come up with over time, go ahead and use them. Because I realistically think Warner Brothers really needs some show ideas. Think kaboom. All right. Got the Mad Hatter on the horn. Yeah. Got that down. Who are these big guys? Lefty and righty? Lefty and righty, I think is who they're called. Yep. I don't remember fighting these guys on the villain storyline. Evidently they were added in because realistically, I guess it's just an extra added difference. Or maybe I just kind of bypassed them the whole villain story. So I guess with Robin, it's like who could he have added in? Left behind again. That's too bad. I'm getting too full of an inventory. I gotta get rid of all this garbage. I gotta remember when the next time I legitimately go through and start playing DC Universe for each one of my characters, I gotta check before I go anywhere and do any more missions to really kind of take out some inventory stuff. I just have too many things that it's just kind of like I don't have extra space or whatever. So if anything, some things I've just held on for too long. But anyways, yeah, I don't know why I kept some of this stuff in there. Or why I kept this part of this in here. Probably could have cut it out, but I don't know, I guess everything, I guess, wasn't caught in the whole editing of things, but yeah. Because I think while I was editing this, I was editing like several other things, so yeah. I think like I was just kind of pushing for like if I can get stuff like just edited quickly and just get it like uploaded as soon as possible so I could just get more things. That's all that really mattered. But yeah, but I've heard lately that like everybody's kind of really using. It's kind of been funny for YouTube lately. People are saying lately that if YouTube doesn't like,
X's over the eyes. Add a little something. Nighty night.
for people that are getting monetized on this platform and getting paid for their
Show you the formula, but then I'd have to kill you. Well, actually, I'm gonna kill you anyway.
monetized for their videos, meaning getting paid for their videos. Realistically, YouTube is getting very picky on what they'll monetize lately. I mean, ridiculously picky. Like, supposedly, if you make, if you kind of replace cussing with the beep now, supposedly videos will track that beeping and just be like, oh, like you said a cuss word, so yeah, we're gonna we're gonna say that this video has cussing now.
Milkshake was a mistake.
And now there's gonna be some titles of some YouTube videos that if YouTube does not like the title of a video, they're not gonna monetize it and pay people. Which I'm like, you know what? That's just kind of like YouTube just wants to just nitpick the crap out of things to just be like, it's just gonna get people more and more to just
I hammer in the evening.
go somewhere else.
All over your skull.
Like, it's honestly too late for me because
Ow, owie, owie,
this was hard enough for me to do what I'm doing here, let alone like try to start fresh somewhere else. And then like Twitch,
Step right up and get your very own knuckle sandwich.
like Twitch, I think there is kind of like, man, to try and set that up and try to do that was just super hard, because Twitch is really
Knuckle sandwiches.
much more of like a live stream thing, and yeah, it's just, I'm like, dude, I don't know how I could really do that. Like, if anything, all my stuff is like pre-recorded stuff or whatever. It's just,
Down, stupid hammer.
at the end of the day, I was just like, yeah, I'm like, I don't know how I don't know how I would do Twitch. Barely knew how to do YouTube, and
Knuckle sandwiches, come and get 'em.
come and get 'em. Shut up, Harley. Shut up, Harley. But yeah, basically, I pretty much used the strategy to beat Robin in the villain story to beat
Let me go.
her here.
Rights, you know. Mr. Jail, get me out.
Oh, blah, blah. Just you wait, whatever.
Thanks for the help. Not that I couldn't have gotten out by myself. Yeah, eventually.
Sure. Whatever.
They call him the Joker. But my puddin' is no joke. He has a dream of a world where everybody is always laughing.
Just laughing.
A whole world just busting fit to explode. Kaboom! So maybe I'm crazy. But aren't we all a little crazy? In love.
Whatever floats your boat.
Harley's heading to Arkham. Head to the East End police station. Commissioner Gordon will be there dealing with the paperwork.
On the villain side of things, if people were wondering, that same cutscene is for the villain side as well. So if anybody is keeping track of if something is drastically different, there really isn't much to it besides a little flip of the script of instead of fighting Robin, I fought Harley, but I had the same cutscenes. I didn't have the two big goons that I mentioned weren't there when I was doing the villain side of it, because realistically, I don't think Robin really could have had much of anybody to add in. And I guess there was a little couple second plug for Markiplier and Jacksepticeye videos. So yeah, I'm gonna say goodbye, everybody. When will the next time of these things come out? I have no doubt of a clue when I'll do more, because realistically, for sure, I have a lot of stuff come down the pipeline. A ton of stuff. If anything, I just started The Witcher 3. If anything, I was probably supposed to go and probably get back to God of War 3 Remastered a very long time ago from when I stopped. So I should probably get back on track with that. But yeah, there's so much I can still do and give everyone, and hopefully that will that'll keep this channel churning. And yeah, so I'm gonna call this a wrap. Goodbye, everybody. Bye, everybody.